Hello, everybody. Today I'm here with the Disney Heroes Battle Mode Update 4.0.10, and today we are getting Princess Aurora and Prince Phillip from Sleeping Beauty. So let's take a closer look at Princess Aurora. And it's pretty nice to get her. I kind of just wanted to get straight into this, but this was a complete surprise for everybody. This is not data mined. This update is insane simply because we're getting not only two characters that we had no idea about, but two characters who I would say were pretty unlikely. I think if you were to try to predict even princess characters to get, that Princess Aurora would be pretty low on the list. But also, we almost have pretty much every Disney princess possible. And it's kind of crazy to have a game where we have Princess Aurora, but we do not have Cinderella. And we know Cinderella characters are possible, so I really think at some point here, soon, we should be getting Cinderella. Just because it's the main princess, and really the only one we don't have. If I can't think of any more. We really do have almost all of them, even ones that aren't technically princesses. We have them all, but let's talk about Princess Aurora specifically. I think she looks pretty nice. She's in that classic outfit. That's what I would assume. That's what I envision when I think of Princess Aurora. I like this little pose she has going on too. Yeah, she just looks nice. I would say pretty accurate to the movie. Nothing too off. Like even the face, I think they did right, which sometimes they don't always do a great job on. But yeah, she looks pretty nice. Not a character I'm specifically wanting, but it's cool to get more characters for the Sleeping Beauty series. And just to spoil some of her skills here, the 3 fairies are part of her skills too, so we're kind of getting all of the characters I would think are possible for Sleeping Beauty here right now. I could not imagine getting any more for the series, but I guess we'll see. But I don't know who else I would do. This is pretty much all of them. So in like my predictions videos, I said Princess Aurora and Prince Phillip I think is a duo. And then I also said like a trio for the fairies. And then I was out of ideas after that, but anyways, she's going to be the June sign-in hero. She's a control hero too. We thought that it was going to be Kuzco, our final data mined character, but we do not know where he is. Maybe he's going to be in the Battle Pass, but I don't know if they're exclusive heroes to that or not. But we'll see, I guess. So going through her skills, first up is Very Helpful. Sorry, I like that title though. In its passive form, Fauna performs Aurora's basic attacks, which deal fantastic damage and silence any enemies hit for a duration. In its active form, Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather fly over the battlefield, removing all buffs and dealing fantastic damage to all enemies. The fairies then each bestow a debuff of their own upon the enemies: silence, stacks of weakness, and a reality decrease. Each of these debuffs lasts for a duration. So Fauna's the only one doing anything in its passive form, and then they all are attacking in its active form. So yeah, that'll be cool to see. I'm sure the fairies will be very small on screen. I don't know how it's really going to work. But we are able to see each of them in full detail, and their icons here, which someone had to put a lot of work into, I'm sure. So Flora's up first, and the Flora's Barrier. Flora cleanses Aurora and grants her a shield for an amount of HP that lasts a duration. While the shield is active, Aurora blocks all projectiles aimed at her and steals energy from each enemy whose projectile is blocked. So, very defensive move. Merryweather's Bolt. Merryweather fires a magic bolt at the closest enemy, knocking them back and dealing fantastic damage. The enemy is also snared and has their attack speed decreased for a duration. Main attacking one right there, and then Fauna's Magic. Aurora's basic attacks now deal bonus fantastic damage and removes buffs from enemies hit. Merryweather's Bolt also Merryweather's Bolt also applies a reality decrease on enemies hit by Merryweather's magic bolt for a duration. So kind of working together with Merryweather's... Sorry, I have such a hard time saying her name. Merryweather's Bolt move. It kind of works with that one. But yeah, it's pretty cool to have each of the fairies have their own thing. I really don't know their personalities all that well. If you are very familiar with these fairies, I wonder just how accurate each of those things are to them. I would assume probably pretty accurate. Finally, Sweet Dreamer. Aurora's basic attacks now target the enemy with the most buffs. Very helpful, now also deals fantastic damage over X seconds. For each several buffs removed by Aurora, she heals the ally missing most HP for a percent of their max HP. I believe that's the only healing thing she's had. I think so. So it's probably pretty beneficial to get her up to red, so she can also be a healer. And I really like the icon for that Sweet Dreamer move too. Her friendships are going to be with Snow White and Fairy Godmother. Snow White just is another princess, and also a very new one, so it's nice to have these brand new princesses being friends. And again, going back to like having Cinderella being added, we have had these these princesses added back to back pretty much. So it makes sense to get that final princess that I think we need somewhat soon. And then Fairy Godmother is going back to Cinderella once again. Aurora and Cinderella are pretty similar in personality, I would say. So Fairy Godmother will probably just talk about how she knew a princess very similar to Aurora. I don't know why I have such a hard time saying Aurora, but next up is Prince Phillip. I would never have expected him to show up ever. We have very few princes, if any, really. We kind of have... Is Kevin Flynn... Wait, what? What's his name? Flynn Rider, not Kevin Flynn. Is Flynn Rider technically a prince? He kind of is, kind of not. But that's the only one I can think of that's actually in the game. Like, we don't have Prince Eric, which is the one I think of the most when I think of a prince. Also, like Prince Charming from Cinderella, obviously, we don't have. Like, other than that, there really aren't too many, like, famous princes. I guess the Snow White prince, but Snow White was just added. But yeah, we don't have very many at all. So it's interesting that Prince Phillip, out of all of them, is the one that gets added. But as you can see with this big old sword here, he probably has the most viable, just like moveset option out of all of them. Like Prince Eric, I imagine would be hard to make moveset for, although we've seen it in Disney Sorcerer's Arena. I do not remember what Prince Phillip looks like at all, but his hair to me looks really dumb. Maybe that's just what it looks like in the movie, but I don't remember it looking like that. But it looks stupid to me, but that doesn't matter. The rest of him looks nice. I really like the red and kind of brown black color scheme he has. It's pretty nice. It also looks like he has a weapon like sheathed in his belt. So he's just got like a ton of weapons. But I don't know how much he'll use. I know he has a shield as well. He looks alright. Again, his hair looks dumb. The rest of him looks cool. Color scheme is cool. In terms of the looking at like in the style of the game, and also nice next to Aurora. I think they look pretty great together. He's going to be a tank hero, which I feel like we haven't gotten very many of recently. And he's also going to be the next prize wall character, which is definitely interesting because I typically feel like the prize wall characters are like these big name characters that people are really excited to get. Prince Phillip, I don't think is a character that all that many people are too excited for. But yeah, he's the next prize wall. Maybe it might just be because they wanted to do this Sleeping Beauty update. I don't really know, but let's go through his skills. The first one here, Shield of Virtue, is the longest skill name I've ever seen, but let's start reading this novel here. Prince Phillip begins combat with a oh my gosh, I'm already screwing up. Prince Phillip begins combat with a short sword, which grants him additional attack speed and bonus energy from basic attacks. Each time the skill is used, he heals to a percent of his max HP and has a piece of equipment upgraded by his fairies. So yeah, I think I actually mentioned that sword you could see in his icon. It's a little brown sword on his belt. Upon first use, Phillip equips a heater shield and gains an HP shield for a duration. With the heater shield equipped, he has a chance to block incoming skills and attacks. Upon second use, he swaps his short sword to a long sword. With the long sword equipped, he gains basic damage and increased basic attack range. Upon third use, the fairies bless his long sword for a duration. While blessed, his basic attacks and damage skills deal bonus damage as true damage. Each use of his skill after the third will reactivate the effects of the third use. Phillip keeps his equipment in between waves. What an overly complicated moveset for his white skill. So he's got a short sword, a long sword, and a shield that he can use all within this one skill. It sounds like the fairies are also in this moveset, which is interesting. But I don't think it'll conflict all that much if you have them both on the screen. But Maybe they won't show up at all, and that's just like the lore of the move, is that the fairies are blessing his long sword, because that's what happens in the movie. But anyways, the next one is Triumph Over Evil. Phillip drops to a knee and raises his shield to cleanse himself. When this happens, Phillip and the closest allies gain stacks of Hardy, while also having their armor and reality increase for a duration. Okay, next up is Sword of Truth. Phillip walks forward and swings the sword at nearby enemies, dealing normal damage and knocking enemies back with each swing. I wonder what his basic attack will be, because that just sounds like what I would imagine the basic attack would be. I guess a knockback and normal damage is different, but... Fit for a prince. Every several seconds, Phillip can block an... Oh my gosh. Every several seconds, Phillip can block an incoming projectile. After successfully blocking a projectile, he gains an HP shield for a duration. Then finally, Princely Determination. While Phillip's longsword is blessed, he gains bonus attack speed. During this time, his basic attacks heal himself and the closest allies for an amount of HP and deal bonus fantastic damage. Allies buffed by Triumph Over Evil are also given an HP shield that lasts for a duration. Each time Phillip uses Shield of Virtue, he cleanses himself. He has a lot of cleansing and healing stuff for a tank character, which I think is pretty nice. His friendships are with Phil and Princess Aurora. Okay, well, if his name is Phillip and he's friends with Phil, is their only thing that connects them is that their name is similar? Because I don't know what else we're going to talk about. I guess he's somewhat similar to Hercules? Not really, but... Princess Aurora, of course. The final thing on here, even though it says that there's going to be improvements and bug fixes at the beginning, there is not. We just have this little note that says Battle Pass starts June 1st. Our new and improved Battle Pass will start on June 1st with Pacha as the exclusive hero. So, okay, Kuzco will not be in it, at least for now. But if Pacha's the first one, well, maybe they'll just be doing, like, the prize wall characters will be going in there. I don't know, but for now it's just Pacha. The Battle Pass will function the same as the old Diamond Quest, where you complete daily quests that are in progress. There's a free track that everyone can access, and a premium track that can be purchased, granting additional rewards. Which is nice, and most of the other mobile games already have something like that anyways, so it makes sense that they're adding it here. With no exclusive hero that's like new, I don't really care about it. But it's nice to be getting rewards again. It kind of sucked in May we weren't getting those extra rewards, since the Diamond Quest kind of was discontinued at that time. But yeah, there's nothing on a release date or anything. There's no improvements and bug fixes as it says it will be, or there will be. I don't know if they plan to add those later, if that was just like a typo. They're not actually going to be added. But anyways, I believe these patch notes were made by the new moderator Nugget, so don't be too hard on them, because obviously he's new to this kind of thing. And I'm sure he was kind of just looking at, or sorry, I don't know if it's a guy, girl, they, them. So I'll just say they don't really know all the different stuff. I'm sure they're just referencing previous patch notes to write this one. But I think they did a pretty good job, other than just like not having some certain things. I don't know if it was purposeful to not have a release date because there just isn't one, or if June 1st is the date to be looking for, but either way, I'm excited to see both these new characters in game. And it's cool to be getting more Sleeping Beauty characters. Like I said, I don't think they're going to be adding any more, since the fairies are also part of Aurora's moveset. But it's cool to get another princess too, and one of the few princes we have, if not the only prince we have, is cool as well. I don't really have anything else to say, but I'm curious what you guys think about this. When I opened these patch notes and I saw not only that there were two characters you did not know about, I was like, I literally just swore. I was very surprised. So were you surprised as well? Were you expecting these characters to come at some point? And are you excited for them to be added? Let me know. Thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Goodbye.